I love how Grand Seiko names their watches. This one's called the Snowy Valley, and it kind of does capture it, I guess. That pattern on the dial, very virgin snow looking. And then this is going to be difficult to kind of capture this green, but this is like a evergreen green, like a pine tree that you would typically see like in the valleys of a mountain. You'd have the evergreens and then you'd have that virgin snow. That's what this watch is basically inspired by. So the real name of it, if I can find the hang tag, one of these, maybe this one, there you go, is the SBGJ277, retail price $6,800, has the Grand Seiko, of course, movement, the 9S86, which is a high beat movement, 36,000 VPH or 10 beats per second. So you can see that clean sweep of the seconds hand. Typically, most Swiss movements and everything, they run at like 4 hertz. So 8 beats per second, is that right? So this one's a little bit faster, so a little bit smoother, harder to distinguish that to the naked eye. You can barely see those ticks. The only thing that's really smoother is typically going to be a spring drive, where you really can't see the beats. So, but big thanks to Exquisite Timepieces, Naples, Florida, for sending this over. Of course, they have the entire lineup of Seiko. Whatever you can dream of, they have it or can get it. And that also lays over to Grand Seiko. Now, both these watches I just showed you, we're going to highlight this one, are both Traveler's GMT watches, meaning, if I can operate this crown, get it unscrewed, you can see you can go forward or backward with the hour hand. And that is also how you set the date. As you can see, I just rolled it from the 10th to the 11th. And then you pull it all the way out, hack the movement, and that is how you adjust the 24-hour and the 12-hour and the minutes all together. Now, let's get into the case size. 44.3 millimeter. And this is one of those cases where on the top side, the watch is actually going to present kind of like a 44, 43 millimeter. I'm going to show you, though, a side profile that's going to show you how bellied out this thing is. It's just not going to wear like the size indicates, but it will look like it. The lug-to-lug is a 50.5. You do have drilled lugs. The thickness, 14.2 millimeter. Double dome sapphire crystal up top. Chamfered around the edge. A lot of depth to pretty much everywhere you look on this thing. 21 millimeter lug opening in this nicely matched bracelet. Tapers down to 18 millimeter, and you have a fold over clasp, milled Grand Seiko 4 micro adjust. Not as trick as that LX one, though. I showed you that, where you just push the thing and it slides in and out. That's pretty trick. I like that. A 6.85 millimeter screw down signed crown. Of course, you have the Grand Seiko logo on the case back. It says a 200-meter water depth rated watch. That 9S86 movement that is in this thing it's right up there with one of the best well-built automatic movements out there for sure. That's just a traditional automatic movement. It is highly decorated. It's super accurate. In static form, I think it's +5 to -3 seconds per day. In actual wearing, I think that scale tightens up a little bit, and you're probably going to see like 2 to 3 seconds accuracy. 37 joules. That's part of the balance of this thing. Price point $6,800 retail. It flirts with some of the LX series. Like this one I showed you here. This is a $6,000 watch. Now, it's titanium and it has a spring drive, so depending on what your preference is, typically spring drive movements are Grand Seiko, and they're a little bit more money. But these two, kind of compete with each other a little bit in overall vibe, look, functions, everything like that, and price. So it just depends on if you want to go Grand Seiko, which does have a little bit, fancier dials, a little bit better finishing, a little bit more attention to detail. Not that the LX series is lacking in that department. It's just the Grand Seiko nudges it out slightly. But I personally would be fine with going with that LX series. That's just my personal preference. But for those that really want to have that Grand Seiko heritage on their watch, then you have to go to Grand Seiko. It's the only way to achieve that. The bezel action, 120 click bi-directional. So this one has a clicking, and you can feel it. I think it's 120 click. Yeah, something like that. Whereas that one's just a friction fit. And hopefully that green is coming across. I know it's difficult to catch it. I will drop in a couple of pictures of outside. It's just difficult to catch it. Here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Again, it's going to present larger than what it feels like on wrist because that case just bellies in and it's super comfortable. It still has that iconic Seiko feel on wrist. Offset crown, cushion case, and just a good balance to it overall. Again, big thanks to the entire crew. My contact is Tyler. I will put his information down below. At Exquisite Timepieces, Naples, Florida, they have everything that you can think of in the Seiko lineup, in Grand Seiko lineup. Just get a hold of them. Tell them I sent you. Check out the lume on this thing. They loomed out the bezel numbers on the top side and then full loomed the bezel on the bottom side, marked out the cardinal positions, gave you the hour, minute, and GMT hand. So those are the positions that you need for time telling in the dark. Compare that with the LX series. You can see it's going to be a tough choice. I don't envy you guys that are shopping at this price point in this market. This would be a tough one. I don't know which one I would honestly go. I think I personally would go with the LX series, but it's like one of those things. I'd almost want to like wear it for like an hour or something to get a vibe. But I personally think I would gravitate towards that spring drive on the LX series. As good as this Grand Seiko is, oh man, it would be a tough one. Good luck.